and I think Kevin's car is set up very close to that right now.
All right, all three leaders have completed 192 laps. There are 8 laps, 20 miles to go in the Indianapolis 500. 7 left to go when he crosses the start-finish line here.
Michael Andretti just ducking in, incidentally. 4th place, Michael Andretti.
That's Rahal right behind Kogan.
Yep.
Here comes Mears. We may still have 3 cars who have a say about this.
We knew Michael was going to probably have to make that extra stop. He's making that now. That, of course, is totally the end of any chance. He will now be lapped. He has been lapped.
He's cooked.
But look at how close Bobby Rahal now is to Kevin Kogan. Kogan, driving that hard, may have superheated his tires a little bit. He may now be relatively defenseless to a charge by Bobby Rahal.
Kevin Kogan on the left of your screen in the lead as they come out of turn 4. He faces the front straight. When he passes the start-finish line now, there will be 6 laps to go, so you can count them down as you watch with us the duel between Kevin Kogan and Bobby Rahal, with Rick Mears still lurking and hoping that something can fall into his lap.
Yeah. Of course, Rahal has to get close. We've got to look ahead to see what traffic. They're in the short chute now. Now they're in turn 3. Kevin Kogan still running awfully close to that wall. I'll tell you, to maintain the speed, which is exactly 200 miles an hour per lap at this stage, about 220 on the straight. A crash. Ari Lyondike
will come out.
It's Lyondike, and there will be a yellow flag punching them. And if the yellow
could win the race,
yes, under the yellow. Although, well, I don't know. That was Lyondike crashing just off turn 4. Boy, oh boy, it could be settled under the yellow. You are not wrong, Jim Lampley.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, well, that's quite a point.
Yeah, it's entirely possible, depending on the length of the yellow flag, that Kevin Kogan may have just received the greatest break of his racing life. 5 laps to go. He had established the lead and was trying to hold it when the car went awry, as you saw on the screen, and the yellow is now out. The crowd will now wait expectantly and count laps, as will every driver on the course, and particularly those 3, Kevin Kogan, Bobby Rahal, and Rick Mears.
Here's the crash of Ari Lyondike. I believe I made that the right call. All right, he spins coming off of the 4th turn, and as so many of the drivers have today, he's able to stay off of the outside wall, which gives the car a much longer time to slow down. This is not a crash of the magnitude, say, of Mario Andretti's in practice. In fact, if he tags the wall at all, and I guess he now slides back into it, now how long will it take them to clean this up? No race organizing body likes to have a major race or any race end under the yellow. They like it to end under the green with the men racing, obviously. I would suppose that there will be a great effort made to get Lyondike's car out of the way as quickly as possible. My guess is we'll see a couple of laps of racing under the green. What do you think?
Well, if that's the case, and I think it will be, this is a tremendous break for Rahal and Mears, who will now get to chase Kevin Kogan from very short range.
Can you imagine what Kevin is feeling now? He put everything into those efforts. 4 laps to go now. Let's have another look at that crash. Ari Lyondike, I think the first Dutchman ever to make it into this race. You see him in turn 4.
Kept it off the outside wall, as you said. Almost everybody has, going back to Sneva on the pace lap.
Yeah, exactly.
Lyondike, Rookie of the Year last year.
Everybody realizes if you can keep him off the outside wall, your chances of survival are about 100%. In fact, he handles that beautifully. I know it sounds ironic when you see the car just whipping around like that, but look, it hardly tapped the wall.
Well, no, he was inside the confines of pit row. It seems to me, without knowing as much about it as you do, Sam, that they ought to be able to clear that away in time to allow some racing under the green.
Well, I agree. I don't think he was quite inside the confines, but the fact that the car wasn't damaged means it can be quickly pushed aside. You see what I mean? If the suspension had been deranged and they had to get a wrecker out, that would have been different. Well, I was going to say about Kevin, though, imagine, he put everything, his heart into that. All right.
All right, Sam Posey is now going to get a chance to converse briefly with Kevin Kogan.
Kevin, this is Sam Posey. Your thoughts right now.
I didn't hear you.
Kevin, this is Sam Posey. Your thoughts now with just 3 laps to go.
Kevin, that's Sam Posey on the radio trying to talk to you. I'm kind of busy right now, Sam. I'll talk to you afterwards.
Fair enough, and good luck to you.
He is indeed rather busy right now. Let's clearly point out that these conversations with the drivers during yellow flag periods only have been cleared in advance with pit crews. You heard the crew member telling Kevin Cogan there that was Sam Posey trying to talk to him. And, of course, Kevin, quite understandably, would like to focus on the business at hand.
Well, I think it underlines the pressure that he's under. Frankly, I wouldn't have wanted to talk to me either, if you know what I mean, at this point. I mean, I believe he put everything that he had into that effort to get away from his two pursuers. Now, he may have, of course, been able to cool the tires down, and there'll be a little bit better grip if it does go green.
Well, he's got no problem if they don't go green. He's going to win the race under the yellow. But I have to assume that Kevin is sitting there thinking, okay, we're going to get 2 laps of green flag. And he is trying to anticipate precisely how and where Ray Hall is going to come at him and how and where Mears might come at him. We are now being told that they are going to go green the next time around, and there will be 2 laps to go at that point. So we're going to see a 2-lap race to the flag between Kevin Cogan, Bobby Rahal, and Rick Mears, and what we are seeing, quite frankly, is one of the most dramatic races in the 70-race history of the Indianapolis 500.
Sure, because how often do you see 3 cars in contention? 2, yes. Even that, rarely. But 3, never. This is fabulous.
Kevin Cogan in car number 7, the blue and white, in case you just joined us. The crowd standing and cheering all 3 of them, and indeed every car left on the racetrack. Hundreds of thousands of people now up and ready to watch on their tiptoes as they go green and race for 2 laps. The Indianapolis 500 is now the Indianapolis 5 between Kevin Cogan and Bobby Rahal and Rick Mears.
Oh, and Kevin didn't get the start he might have hoped for.
And Rahal's going by him. Bobby Rahal in car number 3 has the lead once again. You look at Debbie. She knows what's happened. They come out of turn 2. They're going down into turn 2 now. Down the back stretch. Rahal trying to stretch the lead over Cogan. Mears trying to get into it.
I think it was a disadvantage for Kevin to be leading because it allowed Rahal to sit back just slightly and time the start. In fact, here comes Rick Mears.
Can't get by him. They're in turn 3. Now they're in turn 4. And they'll come out of turn 4 and onto the front straight. There will be 1 lap to go now when Bobby Rahal comes by the start-finish line. 33-year-old Bobby Rahal of Dublin, Ohio, trying to beat 30-year-old Kevin Cogan. And right now, Debbie Rahal believes it's about to happen. They're into turn 1.
Looks good, doesn't it, Rahal?
He's got it. He's got it if the car holds
Just
up.
ran a lap at 204 miles an hour, so he had something left, and he's showing it right now. And Rick Mears may be going to menace Kevin Cogan for second as Rahal goes on to win. That's a possibility.
The yellow flag, which appears for a moment to have won the race for Kevin Cogan, instead created an opportunity for Bobby Rahal to win it. An opportunity that Rahal has taken advantage of. There in front of him, on the right, now the left, Dwayne Sweeney holds the checkered flag for the 1986 Indianapolis 500 champion, Bobby Rahal.
Well, there's Debbie. Fantastic. Easily one of the greatest 500s we've ever seen.
Kevin Cogan, driving one of the greatest races of his career, has just finished second in the Indianapolis 500, and I guarantee you that is a very empty second place at this moment.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll feel good sometime later tonight.
I doubt
right now.
No, not having come that close. He'll regard that as nothing but a defeat, basically. Crushing. I really feel for him. Without the yellow, there's no doubt whatsoever that Kevin had earned this race.
That's exactly how Debbie Rahal reacted at the moment that her husband took a checkered flag almost directly in front of her because the Rahal pit was in the middle of pit road. This is great for a man named Jim Truman, 51 years old last week, currently battling an illness. Tremendous thrill for him. His car driven by Bobby Rahal, has won this race.
He's battling cancer, and it's got a real grip on him. So this really means an incredible amount, I think, to this team, which was created 4 years ago with the objective of winning the Indy 500, and they have done it.
They're a very close team. You would imagine that Rahal's